What is up, y'all? I have not been on here like in the longest. I'm trying to keep my voice down as much as possible because everybody in the house is like on their way to try to go to sleep. For those people that keep asking me, people keep asking me like, what happened to your YouTube page? Like, you don't do YouTube no more? Not forget about y'all. I did not stop doing YouTube. That's not even in the question. It's just more so been like, obviously school, just been focusing on my training and getting myself right with academics, all these different things, and you know, just enjoying my space. Like, that's all. I'm posting more this coming year because I really just wanted to post more like when it comes to us like competing and all these different things. So that's when I was gonna pull out my camera. So yes, I did not forget about y'all, so don't think that I forgot about y'all, because that would never be the case. But I know y'all better not have forget about me, because I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't forget about y'all and then y'all forgot about me. And but yeah, so I can't tell y'all when I am gonna plan on posting the video. I don't know, but I definitely know that content will be coming, so please bear with your girl, please, because I don't want to sit here and make promises and be like, oh, I'm gonna drop this, I'm gonna be consistent with this, and then I don't do it. So then that make me look bad, but I don't want to look bad. But anyways, y'all, I got so many, when I tell y'all I have so many different journals, like when it comes to Bible studying, like I literally have so many, like so many. And I just like, I have notes everywhere. I have notes on my phone, I have notes in the journal at school, in my apartment, I have some upstairs. Like I have notes everywhere. I just need one solid journal. That's all I need. I just need one solid journal that I put everything in, so I don't be like all over the place. But you know, I was upstairs Bible studying, and right now I'm in a book of Exodus. So right now in the season that I'm in my life is, I feel like God has been calling me to like be still. And reasons why I say that is because, or most of you should be familiar with the Bible verse, like, be still and know that I'm God. So there's a song by Housefires, this song Be Still and Know by Housefires. And y'all, I kid y'all not, when I tell y'all that song is on repeat in my head like 24/7, like all I hear is be still and know, be still and know, be still and know, be still and know. And then it pops up everywhere that I like, look, be still and know, be still and know, be still and know. So I'm just like, God, okay, what are you really trying to tell me? Like I said, I'm reading the book of Exodus, and as we all may know, like Exodus is Pharaoh, the Israelites, Moses, like leading up to the promised land and all these different things. I'm at the Red Sea. So the Israelites are about to cross the Red Sea. There was so catch me here, because I'm making different points, but it's going to be organized as much as possible. So Exodus 13 verse 18, it says, so God led the people around by the desert road toward the Red Sea. The Israelites went up out of Egypt armed for battle. So just to fast forward, so now I'm reading like Exodus 14, and in the midst of me reading it, I come towards the part where the Egyptians had overcame the Israelites and came to where they were at the time of their exit. So in the midst of them being there, when the Egyptians came across them, the Israelites was terrified. And it says it here, Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked up, and there were the Egyptians marching after them. They were terrified and cried out to God. They said to Moses, was it because there was no graves in Egypt that you brought us up to the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Didn't we say to you in Egypt, leave us alone, let us serve the Egyptians? It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert. So now I'm finna eat y'all up, but just wait. With just me reading that, I instantly got something like, oh yeah, I'm finna, yeah. So then I start reading down some more. So then this is what Moses says to them in return. Moses then goes on to say, do not be afraid, stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring to you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Okay. So now I'm gonna eat this up. So I had titled this Be Still and Know. Yes, that is a separate Bible verse, but it still applies. Just like I read, when they sat there and they saw that the Egyptians had overcame them, they immediately, and when I say immediately, they immediately said to Moses, like, why did you bring us out here just to die? Like, didn't we say we would just have been better off right where we was at? Like, y'all, if we take away this key takeaway, and what I had got into this, like, when God has put us in new places, or when he has introduced a new plan to us and we're in the midst of stepping into that plan, it is so easy. And it's not even just easy, it's common for all of us as believers. We sit here and we'll be on our way, or we'll probably already be in the midst of what we was just praying for. We can be sitting in a prayer that we was just once praying for and not even know it, just because we're so caught up and focused on the opposition that we're facing in the midst of that. So just like, sometimes we miss the blessing by focusing on the opposition that comes from the blessing. We get so caught up in receiving like the blessings, the miracles, the signs, the wonders that God has given us, and then we get so comfortable with that, and we believe that just because we have received all these great things from God, that we won't have any opposition, or we won't face no trouble. That's why God makes it so imperative in his word, you know, that we should put on the armor of God. Ephesians 6, we should not be ignorant to the enemy's devices, because, you know, his word says, like, the enemy literally prowls around as if he was a roaring lion, waiting to devour on somebody. You know, he clothes himself as if he's like the angel of light, like he's a deceiver, he's a father of lies. All these different things that makes us known of who the enemy is, what he brings to the table, and what his plan is. So with him telling us that and giving us that knowledge, we're well equipped to know what to do in regards of that. So given this situation, when the Israelites see something that was once tormenting them at some point in their life, they immediately fled to fear rather than relying on their faith. And it's easy for us, you know, us now in this current time of age, current day reading, we'll be like, oh, why didn't you trust God? Why did you sit here and just focus on where you're heading towards to, rather than what you just came from? But we do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I do that a lot. Like, God is calling me to like a greater purpose, or he's calling me to somewhere that I'm unfamiliar with. It's so easy to get comfortable with the fact of, yes, like, thank God that he has, you know, opened new doors for me that no man can close, and now I'm in this new season of my life. All those things are great, and all those things are true, and nobody can take that away from you. But in the midst of you being in that, we cannot sit here and get comfortable and think that we're not going to face opposition. And that's where we miss our mark at every single time. That the Israelites was just, that fear came so quick that I just wish they were better off somewhere that was once hurting them, or that was once bringing some torment towards them. Like, just because they seen this one encounter that was something that was once working against them, so now that they're doing what God has, you know, called Moses to do in regards of helping them exit, when they were faced against the Egyptians, with them seeing that scene, that immediately put them in a mindset of, you know, we was just better off where we was at. And that's what we tend to do. Like, when we're in the progressing and God's shaping us, forming us in a way that he needs us to be, we sit here and tell ourselves, when we either get stuck, or we may not know the answers to everything, or we see some things are working against us in the midst of us, you know, like refined, we sit here and we put ourselves in a smaller mindset and just be like, you know what, I'm just done, or I'm gonna just be stagnant, or, you know, I'm not gonna continue to move forward because I feel like I'm not well equipped, or I feel like I don't know what all it takes, or even we feel like we're not qualified, because we can be right where God has wanted us to be at, and we lose it all, not because he causes us to lose it all, but just because of us, because of the mentality that we place upon ourselves. When we're on our way to going somewhere where God has called us to go, and we're doing all the things that he has been positioning us to do, there's a greater purpose behind that we don't even know of yet, we would rather want to resort back to the things that make us comfortable, no matter how much torment, no matter how much pain it brought to us, rather than going to somewhere that's going to cause us to be uncomfortable because we don't know what's yet to come. But little do we know, it's for our best interest. So it's just what God does for, like, literally, I was reading, like, I had did a cross reference, like, if you look at Genesis 50, like Genesis 50:20, when his brothers came in front of him after all that Joseph went through in regards to, you know, his brothers selling him, and Potiphar's wife lying on him, and all these different things he had to go through, but yet the dream that he had was still fulfilled, that God had given him from the very start. But you will see in Genesis 50:20, which is a commonly known verse that we all say, like, what they intended for harm, God intended for good. And that same verse can cross reference with this story that I'm talking about in regards of Exodus 14, like literally when we read in Exodus and the Israelites in the possession of Pharaoh, like every single time you read, you keep saying, you would see that God keeps telling Moses, like, I'm gonna harden Pharaoh's heart. I'm gonna harden Pharaoh's heart. And then after he does harden Pharaoh's heart, then once God was send like these plagues onto him, then Pharaoh will go back and say, like, you know, please I just ask, like, say a prayer for me, or ask your God to do this, da da da, and then I'll let your people go. You know, just saying that, just say it, and God will do so. But don't let that confuse you. God didn't do it because he simply, you know, Pharaoh wanted this, so I'm just gonna let him. No, first of all, God's in control of all things. So it's just like literally what we see for bad, God always intends it for good. Like, and it's just amazing just to see how that works. Like the bad things that we as believers go through, those things are really shaping us for greater things to come. So it's just like, and when we see opposition, we immediately think that we must be doing something wrong, but that's not true at all. Especially if it's something that God has already predestined for you to walk in. We can't sit here and put ourselves in a smaller mentality that just because we see something that's going opposite of what's going right for us, we think that we're not doing something right. Not at all. So it's just like, I just encourage you all, like in your season of, and I feel like this is a great thing to just post right now, because it's going to be a new year, like, and it's going to be newer doors, newer opportunities, and I'm just praying over anybody who may be watching this, like that will come. And I believe that will come, including me, myself, and those who are connected to me. But in the midst of me saying that, it's just like, yes, those things will come as long as we speak and believe it, and you just follow and seek God and draw near to him, and he'll draw near to us. We have to be on our guard, and we have to know that there's an enemy that's working just as hard, but we know that he's not omnipresent. He cannot do what God can do. And also we know, like in Luke 10 verses 19, like God has given us the authority to trample over snakes, over scorpions, that the enemy has no authority over us at all. And I even tell my friends that, like, even when it comes to like thinking thoughts about yourself, or like disqualifying yourself, like the enemy cannot place thoughts in our heads. He can't do none of those things because he doesn't have the ability to do that. All he can do is just present something to you. The enemy only has as much power as we give him. Literally, that's the only power that he has, the power that we give him. So it's just like, if he puts something in front of you and you grasp at it, then that's when he can start to work. But it's not, he can't go into your mind and torment things because he doesn't have that power. So don't give him that power. Like so just like, I just really want to just encourage everybody, and me, anybody who may be watching this, like with this new year that's about to come, we have to just be on our guard and just be still. Like, don't feel like you have to do too much and do all these different things, because we're not self-sufficient. We can't do things in our own being, because if that was the case, then we wouldn't need God. So it's just like, trust God and rely on him. And just because you're faced with opposition and you see it, that doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. Because, like, just as Jesus said, like in Romans 5:20, like, right now we may not understand what he's doing, but later we will understand. So just keep that like in the back, keep that in the forefront of your mind. Like, you know, I may not understand it right now, but later I will understand it. Like, you have to keep on telling yourself that, because it's okay. You, like, we as believers, we have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. Even with me, and with this new track season, like this new season that I have approaching, like, I have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, because I've been teaching myself that, like, when it comes to training, and I'm having days where I don't want to run my fastest, or I don't want to go as hard because I don't want to get tired, or this run is longer than the other run, or we may not have as much rest as we did on this last rep. Like, all those things, that's gonna always be there, but it's just like, it's just how I process it. So it's just like, whatever a man thinketh, so he is. So it's just like, however I may perceive it, that's how I'm gonna do it. Literally everything that we do, every action that we do, forms as a thought first. So it's just like, think about the things that you do before you do them, and trust that God has everything under control. I was saying, like, this new season that I have approaching, like with track and field, like, I have to tell myself that I cannot attach my identity to what I do. This is just something that God has given me, just so I can glorify him. So when you don't attach your identity to your circumstances, to your situations, or even to your occupation, to the things that you do, you would then start experiencing the peace that he has already freely given us, when you just understand that everything that you do is for the glorification of him. I mean, I didn't want to make this too long, but I definitely just wanted to just, you know, put this out there and just let everybody know, and including me myself, that just because you may be faced with opposition, that don't mean that you're doing something wrong. You keep working towards it, and even if you feel like you don't have the strength to do it, that's why we should call on God. You know, that's why God is telling us, like, we should call on him in a day of trouble, and then he will come seek us, and then we'll glorify him. Like, he doesn't say these things and not be a man of his word. God is a man of his word, and he keeps his promises with us. So I hope that encourages you all just as much as it encourages me, and I hope it blesses y'all just as much as it blesses me. But yeah, remember that small verse that I mentioned in verse 18, where the Israelites went up out of Egypt armed for battle. Mind you, that was verse 18. That was Exodus 13 verses 18. So in regards to the Egyptians coming over to the Israelites, that took place Exodus 14. So what I'm saying is, God already said that they were equipped, literally. And even with Moses, like, because if you continue to read, God says to Moses, like, why are you crying out to me? Like, just tell the Israelites to move on and raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the waters so that the Israelites go through the sea. And when you read it, you would think like, well, God, why I can't pray? No, it's not even that. It's more, I believe, like, how I interpret that text when God said, like, why are you crying out to me? It's not why as if like, oh, help yourself. No, it's more so like, why are you doubting me? Like, why are you not doing what I've already told you that you're already equipped with? Early on in the story, God and Moses already had their talks where Moses was telling God, I can't do this because I'm slow of speech. I can't do this. I can't do that. And every single time, God had something for it to supply him with. So, and even with the staff in his hand, like, when God told Moses to throw the staff down and then it turned into a snake and then he picked it back up, like, that was something that Moses already had within his reach. So also, that's another thing, like, God will use already what you have in order to work it out for his greater purpose for your life, to get not only to you but to others as well. So I took that with him asking that question, like, why are you crying out to me? As if like, why are you not doing what it is that I've already equipped you with? Like, why are you guys fretting when I already told you that I have this promised land for you? I definitely just encourage you all, like, you know, God will fight for us, and all we need to do is just be still. Like, do not fret at the sight of opposition. Like, just tell yourself that this at the start of this year, like, and pray over yourself, like, God, you know, when I see things working against me, Lord, just change my mind to know that it's working for me. And the more that you continue to pray God and ask him for that, he will definitely and certainly do it. Like, he will change your perspective, and just ask him, like, God, just help me to see things in the way that you need me to see things. And he will do that. You just have to believe in what you pray for and not be double-minded in the things that you ask for, and they'll come to you. So that's all I have to say. I'm not gonna be too long-winded, but like I said, y'all, I'm not done with YouTube. That's never a question. But I'll be on here when I be on here, and then we'll get it going, and then we'll be right back to what we was doing.